quite slow away was Majestic Charm, as Sean Levy sends Zoffany Portrait to an early share of the lead, together with What a Man. To the outside, Central Hall jumped from the gates nicely, and Kingdom Come just settles in behind the leaders, right on the rail, but in a share of third, certainly no worse than that. Rum Not Red comes next. He's followed through by Highland Lass. The slow starter, back in touch, Majestic Charm, has just popped in front of Afternoon Tea, who is our back marker. The runners then head round towards the 4 furlong marker and passing it. It's What a Man with the slender lead, with Central Hall behind in second and Kingdom Come third. Zoffany Portrait now just being ridden along every now and then in 4th place. Rum Not Red is travelling okay, so too Endued. Highland Lass is against the rail next. Majestic Charm under the pump again on the wide outer, and Afternoon Tea waits for the cutaway. They head then down inside the final 2 furlongs. They spread out across the track. The leader, Central Hall, Endued making ground down the middle of the track, but perhaps more notably, Kingdom Come storming home now on the far side running rail and takes it up. Rum Not Red is the only other one in sight as Kingdom Come now eases clear. It's a lovely comeback run for Kingdom Come. Beats them hands down as Rum Not Red got up for 2nd place. Central Hall was 3rd, Endued was 4th, and the rest were beaten a long, long way.
Very impressive return from Kingdom Come, who's won pretty effortlessly in the end, hand riding under Rossa Ryan to come clear of the remainder and put in a really nice comeback performance. Very impressive. He looked the part in the paddock and he's looked the part out on track as well. And while this race you can pick a few holes in it, ultimately Connections will just be delighted that he has built on his 2 runs from a couple of years ago, and that he's back, and he looks in a perfect position to go on now and improve from it. He'll come on from this fitness wise, and everything really went perfectly for him in the run. He broke nicely under Rossa from stall 2, grabbed his position on the rail just in behind the leading What a Man. Central Hall was also well positioned and has had every chance, but ultimately has probably just bumped into one. I think the additional tongue tie has helped him. The drop back to 7 as well, but just when he was starting to get going, Kingdom Come was away and gone, and he's come away really, really easily ultimately in the end. And also looking in behind a good run in behind from Rum Not Red to pick up 2nd in the end, and confirm that the last couple of runs, well, the last run at least, was no fluke by any means. But he certainly bumped into one here, Jess. Kingdom Come, it was just a question over whether you wanted to take a short price on one for such a layoff, but hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, they obviously knew that they had him spot on for this, but 496 days off the track, it's still hats off to the Clive Cox team here. We can take it from the start. Majestic Charm was slow away, Steve, out of 4. But otherwise, the eventual winner, Kingdom Come, comes out of 2 nicely. And, yeah, you know, no keenness considering how long he's been off the track. It's just a really nice performance.
Absolutely. Thoroughly dominant in the end as well. Yeah, he got a nice position early on. As you rightly say, didn't pull at all. He dealt with the favourite very quickly when asked and came right away. I thought it was a nice run by Rum Not Red, who I think actually has improved a little bit in his first 2 runs. I think if it was a step in the right direction, and I think he'd probably stay another furlong if they want to. Central Hall I thought was disappointing again. Again, he didn't pull so hard today, but he didn't finish his race off, and that's become a bit of a habit now. So I thought that was disappointing. But the winner was really good and was ultimately a class above.
Yeah, he certainly was, and look, the pedigree suggests, as you say, will stay, half-brother to Miss Yoda, the German Oaks winner, so yeah. There's definitely stamina in the pedigree, and just nice how professional he was, and, you know, obviously, possibly he's been, you don't know how long he's been ready to run, how much time that they've really needed to give him, but he'd beaten a horse in Central Hall who comes with racecourse fitness, yeah. As does Rum Not Red. They've been on the track, so you've got to be really pleased with this, and you know, third run, he'll get a handicap mark. I wonder how they'll rate him.
They can't go balmy. The 2nd and the 4th have both been running. The 2nd's now had his 3rd run. That will get a mark as well. And the 4th has run probably a very similar race to how he did at Newcastle. So I wouldn't have thought they could go mad, but you'd be disappointed or surprised if this is the full range of Kingdom Come's ability, though, because he was very decisive, wasn't he? And the pictures we got of Rossa Ryan coming back in, the horse was still sort of trotting away down the horse wall, so I think he had loads left.
Yeah, certainly. Central Hall, who just gets closed up late on, has got a rating of 75, so, you know,
Yeah.
they'll rate him here or thereabouts, but we can see here from the cutaway, Central Hall, who's been asked by Jack Mitchell just to pose a bit of a threat, and he does, but he just doesn't have the turn of foot, really, that Kingdom Come does.
Yeah.
And Rossa Ryan doesn't need to get too busy and look round. You know, you don't want to be putting too much pressure on a horse who's finding life so easy out there.
No, absolutely. I question whether Central Hall's run at 75. I think the last 2 races he hasn't finished his race off, so he's probably run a few pounds below that. And I say, I don't like the way he's finishing his races, but the winner has just, the market spoke in his favour, and it was absolutely right. You wouldn't have had a moment's doubt if you were watching it. He was always in the perfect position, and he just won like he was a league above his opponents.
Yeah, Rossa Ryan is there with Clive Cox, I think. It'd be great if we could hear from Clive, because it'd be fascinating to know, you know, what's happened over the last year or so. But another, somewhat from what we can see based on what the sales results are saying, another bit of a bargain.
Yeah,
Whatever's happened, because he did have China Horse Club in his ownership prior to that. But anyway, beside the point, he has won on his comeback, which is a wonderful training performance. And he returned at this price. He was the 10 to 11 favourite in the end. He was really strong for Rossa Ryan and Clive Cox and China Horse Club International Limited. Second was Rum No Tread at 10 to 1 and third Central Hall at 5 to 4. Winning time for Kingdom Come in this 7 furlong novice stakes, 1 minute 27.36 seconds, which was 3.76 seconds above the standard, 0.54 seconds above the standard. And he must have been listening to me, Anthony, because we've got Clive Cox now.
Thanks, Jess. Yes, Clive Cox has waited 496 days ultimately to see that happen, Clive. Worth the wait, though.
Yes, very unfortunate, and you know, he basically tore a ligament in his foot, which was most unusual, and so he missed all of last year because of that. And so yeah, he's been on the sidelines for a good while.
For the trainer's point of view, for the jockey's point of view as well, he had the perfect position, he broke nicely, and ultimately, even though it was his first run for a long time, he didn't pull and reef his way and try and tear away.
Well, we've also gelded him not a long time ago, and I think the combination of a long time off after a breeze up, and you know, he's a very fresh mind, and so I'm just delighted he's taken that step forward.
We've seen some lovely horses from your yard take their first steps back, or some of their formative steps on the Kempton All-Weather. What are you kind of feeling for him at the moment? Very early to say, but what are the initial impressions?
Well, to be totally honest, it's been a day-by-day process all the way, and you know, this is the most he's done. We've had a good conditioning period, which we've not tested him at home, and with the weather the way it has been, from you know, we've got a wood chip all-weather, and that's been pretty much flooded last week and then frozen this week, but we've kept everything going well, and I'm pleased that he's come here and produced a run like that first time.
Is he the type that now you could look for opportunities sooner rather than later, or would you have other ideas?
I think we'll take it a step at a time, as I said, see how he comes back. It's just great that he's come here and won nicely, and do his confidence a world of good.
Many thanks, Clive.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Cheers.